Kayla Huber. This is my advanced health assessment assignment, and I'll be doing neuro and musculoskeletal. So first I'm going to start with the cranial nerves. We'll start with one, and we'll test his smell. So I'm just going to have the spray. I'm going to spray it on his hand. I'm going to have him correctly identify with each nerve or what the sense is.
Peppermint?
Yes, that's correct. Next we'll be doing the second one, which can be tested with the Snellen chart and the 4 quadrants. So I have the Snellen chart listed, if you can just go ahead and list it.
LTFPH.
Perfect. And then we can do the 4 quadrant test, which is I'll just have him follow my finger. Okay. Next we'll be moving to 3, 4, 6. I will have him follow the light. So I'm going to have him look right at me. I'm just going to test with the eyes. Okay, I assess Perla, and then I'll have him look back at the front, and then look at my light. Okay. Next we'll be assessing cranial nerve 5. So I'm just going to get a cotton ball, and I'm going to tap it lightly on his face and see that he feels both sides bilaterally. You feel that on this side? Okay. You feel that on this side? Perfect. Next we'll be moving to cranial nerve 7. So I'm going to have him shut his eyes really tight and then open them up and then smile really big. Perfect. Next we'll be moving to 8, and there's different ways you can do it since it's the hearing test. So you could use the tuning fork as well, which was seen in our prior assessment videos. I'm just going to do the whisper test for now. So I'm having him cover his one ear and identify the word.
Apple.
Okay, we'll do the other side.
Banana.
Perfect. Next I'll be assessing for 9 and 10, which will be his uvula, his gag, and his swallow. So open your mouth. Okay, say ah. Okay, and then I'll have you close your mouth and swallow. Good, everything was symmetrical. Next I'll be moving to cranial nerve 11. I'm just going to assess his face first and have him resist my force. So I'm just going to push a little on his face and I'm going to turn. Good. And then the other way. Good. And then we'll assess the shoulders as well. Will you push up against me? Good. Last one I'll do is cranial nerve 12. So I'm just going to have him stick out his tongue. Perfect. And make sure it's symmetrical. It's not deviating any direction. Next we'll be moving on to his overall assessment on his body. We're going to first do a test of the hands and knees where he lifts and pronates right here. Yep. Great. Next we'll be doing the finger to thumb. So just have you copy me. And then we'll do finger to nose as well. So he'll do his nose across as he's trying to tap my finger. Good. Next test is heel to shin. So I'll have him slide his heels right down his shin. Nice. Other side. Great. I'll be assessing his touch and pain sense next. So I'll just ask him if he feels me. Do you feel me? Do you feel me equally on each side? Okay. Here. Okay. Okay. Next we'll be moving to the Romberg's test. So I'm going to have him stand up, and I'm just going to be assessing his gait as he walks to that chair and back. I'll have you have a seat. We'll be doing proprioception next, so I'll have you close your eyes and stick out one of your fingers. I'm just going to take your finger and move it in a direction. I want you to tell me the direction I'm moving.
Up, down, side to side, left, right.
Perfect. Next I'll close his eyes again. I'm going to be handing him objects, and I want him to tell me the objects I'm handing him to see if he recognizes them.
It's a book.
Yep.
It's a pen.
Marker. Good. Next assessment, I'll be touching him at 2 points in his arms, and I want him to let me know if he feels both points. Okay. Next I'll have him stick out one of his palms and I'll be drawing a letter on his palm and having him identify what letter it is.
B. Z.
Good, and he got both of those correct. Next I'll be moving to my reflexes. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my reflex hammer. I'm gonna start from the bottom to the top, so I'm gonna start with Ms. Babinski first.
Motion detector.
Okay, and I'll see what I put. And he had negative Babinski. Next I'll be moving to his Achilles. Okay, okay, we'll do our patellar. Okay, next. Okay, next we'll be doing brachial radial on each arm. Okay, we'll do the other side. We'll be doing bicep. And then I'll do his tricep on this side. Okay. Bicep. And then we'll do his tricep. Just gonna go ahead and assess his abdomen reflex. So I'm gonna stroke upwards. I'm gonna stroke downwards. Next I'll be moving to test for ankle clonus. So I'm gonna have him lay back. And I'm gonna lightly move his feet, and I'm gonna jerk them upwards. And his assessment test was appropriate. Next we'll be moving to our musculoskeletal. So I'll be speech forward. I'm just gonna overall look at his body. I'm gonna notice that he is appropriate size, shape, he's proportionate. His contour of his musculature, everything looks correct. Nothing looks like it's dimpling in. I'm gonna go ahead and palpate lightly first, just an overall assessment. Feel for any edema, any joints, redness or tenderness. Okay, next I'll be moving on to first his wrist assessment, his hands and his wrist. So I'm just gonna look and make sure there's no evidence for any rheumatoid arthritis. I'm just gonna assess all of his joints. I'm gonna note that he has appropriate number of fingers on each hand. His size of his fingers are appropriate. He's not missing any sort of joints. Next, I'll be doing the thumb abduction test, so I'll just have him straighten out his hand and push against me. Good. We'll do the other side. And it's showing no evidence for carpal tunnel. Next, I'll be moving to his elbows. So I'm gonna have him put his hands above his head. Good, and then behind your back. Just to show appropriate range of motion. So he has, and I'll have you bend your arms and straighten them. He has appropriate range of motion in all of his different directions. I'm gonna first palpate here, and I'll make sure I'm palpating around the elbows to make sure I don't show any fluid-filled sacs. There's no tenderness. And we'll go ahead and do it on this side as well. Okay. Next, I'll be doing his shoulder assessment. So I'm gonna just go ahead and look. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and look. Same deal as before. I don't see any inappropriate contour. I don't see any dimpling out. See anything that shows an appropriate rotator cuff. I'm going to go ahead with the Neer test and the Hawkins test. So for the first test, I'm going to have him lift his arm up straight, up above your head. I'm going to push against the scapula. See anything that hurt? Okay. Same deal on this arm. For the next test, I'm going to have him bend his arm in. I'll be rotating his arm. Does that hurt?
Nope.
Okay. Same thing, bend the arm, rotate. Okay. It doesn't show anything appropriate with his rotator cuff. Next, I'll be moving on to tempomandibular. So I'm just going to assess right here. Have you open and close? Any problems there? No. And he didn't feel like he had any crepitus or popping or lockjaw. I'm going to have him stand up next and turn around. I'm just going to palpate his spine. And it looks like he has appropriate curvature. I'm just going to percuss now to see if he has any tenderness. Any pain? Okay, I'm going to have him bend forward and reach his toes. And I can see that his spine is in a straight line. And I'll have him stand up. And I'll have him lean side to his left and lean to his right. So I can see he has full range of motion. while I have him standing, I'm going to go ahead and perform the Romberg's test, or I'm sorry, the Trendelenburg test for his hips. So I'm going to have you stand up on one leg. Good, and then switch sides. Perfect, and you can go ahead and have a seat. Next, I'll be performing the straight leg test. So I'm going to have him lay back. And I'm going to have him lift one leg up. Then we'll do our other side. Okay, doesn't show any hip contractures. Next, I'm going to have him bend one leg up to his chest and lift the second leg. Good. And we'll switch sides. Good. And it doesn't show any sort of contractures, no herniations present. Next, I'll have him, we'll do the allotment test. So I'm just going to be palpating here. Okay, and I don't feel any fluid or any fluid-filled sacs. Okay. Next, we'll be doing the McMurray's test. So I'm just going to have him bend his leg up, and I'll be moving it inwards and outwards. Right, then we'll do the other leg. Bend inwards and outwards. Good. And last, I'll be pushing against his toes for opposition. Okay, and then that would end our health assessment.